Hello, everyone. Uh, Welcome to my channel, Marcus Farrell Live, and also to those of you who are watching on the powerful clickbaity political thirst trap channel. I'd like to welcome you guys to my channel. If you have not liked and subscribed for the clickbaity channel, or you have not liked and subscribed on the Marcus Farrell channel, please do so. This is a new series that I'm dropping on my channel, the Marcus Farrell channel, and I'm going to clickbaity first because I love you guys to death. But I'm also going to be primarily doing this on the Marcus Farrell channel. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, please go to Marcus Farrell, take a look. Please subscribe to my channel. Probably doing 2 or 3 more of these, and look to see 2 or 3 of these a week, if not more. And today's topic is how to run for office with no money. How do you become an elected official in whatever capacity when you don't have any cash? See, we're in a time and a place right now in America where, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, whether you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you're an independent, you might hate Trump. You might hate the Democrats. You might just want to get elected to office. Whatever your case might be. This right here, this is a conversation for you and how you, my friend, can become an elected official. I know plenty of elected officials, and I ran for office myself. And if I had some of these rules that I am about to explain to you right now, I probably would have won my office, but I also was running to prove a point. People run for different reasons, but I'm talking to you about running for office so you can win. And how do you do it with no money? We're in a day and age right now where private interest groups, lobbying groups, PACs, corporate interests, rich people, and everybody else in between wants to get their person in office so they can win. And typically the normal American, the reason why I'm doing this is because we need more normal people running for office. City, county, part of town, statewide, nationally. We need normal people running for office. So how do you do this? And the importance of this is that I want you to think about running for office. It's very simple. The reason why I am explaining right now why I want you to run for office is because you are civically engaged. You want to bring about change. You want to do things for your community. You know that your current elected official sucks. He hasn't been doing anything. And the biggest question is, well, Marcus, how do I become an elected official and I have no money? So, with that being said, Trap Squad, Squirrel Gang, let's get into it. It took me a little while to get into it, but let's get into it because this is the first time that I'm doing these segments, but I am going to continue to do these segments. So, welcome to my channel again. First thing you need to do if you don't have any money and you want to run for office, besides applying for the office and going to your city register, whoever can get you elected, and however you sign up for office. After that, what's the first thing you do? You create an amazing platform that people will naturally be attracted to, that has benefits for your community. That's right. Not benefits for the banks in your community, not benefits for the rich people for your community, not benefits for only poor people in your community. You want to create a platform that benefits all of your community. Now, how do you do that? How do you create a platform, right? What is a platform? So first off, a platform is what you're going to do when you get in that office. What you're going to do if you become the elected official. What are you going to do if you become elected and the reason that you wanted to be elected was because you wanted to make a subtle change? So let's say you ran for dog catcher. That's right. Some cities have dog catcher. And you know that the current dog catcher only picks up stray poodles, only picks up pit bulls, but never picks up stray poodles. And you're like, well, I want all the dogs to get picked up. And I also want them to get treated more humanely. Well, then that is your first platform piece. For statewide offices across the nation, sometimes people want to say things like, I need more money from the state for education in my district. So as state representative, I'm going to go to my capital and ask for more money. Sometimes it's healthcare for all. But whatever it is, you have to make sure that your platform is something that is agreeable upon by the people whose doors you're knocking on, and which is going to lead us to the next thing. So you don't have any money. Have I told you to spend any money yet? No, not whatsoever. Right now, you're just coming up with the best ideas to run for office, right? The best things that are going to make you the person that people want to vote for. Next thing is I go to my handy dandy book. Remember, platforms generate excitement, enthusiasm, making it easier for supporters to talk about your campaign. This word of mouth will be invaluable in spreading your message far and wide. The next thing after you want to build your platform is make sure you build a strong volunteer base. The strategy to gather a team of enthusiastic volunteers. If you don't have a budget for yard signs and expensive mailers, you can rely on passionate supporters to spread your message. That means you want to be able to take your friends and people that you meet and get them to support your campaign. Tell your people that don't mess around, man. I'm sick and tired of y'all telling me y'all gonna help me out and you don't ever do a damn thing. I need you to volunteer for this campaign. I need you to volunteer to help your friend Marcus out, knock on some doors, or hold some yard signs, or just spread the message to your neighbors across the district. Again, I have not told you to spend one dime yet. The more people that you have that support your campaign, the more likely it is that you're going to win. The more people that you have helping you knock on doors, the more people that you have that will help you in a healthy way, of course, spread your message. Be your little minions. The more people that will help you, it's going to be easier. Why? Because big campaigns can hire a lot of people. Big campaigns who have a lot of money can hire more people than you can. But your friends, your family, and the people who love and support your platform are going to be the people that help you get across the finish line, and you didn't have to pay them a dime. Now, I suggest you do things like buy them pizza, give them a t-shirt, some water bottles, so you might have to spend some money, but we're not talking about budgets here. We're not talking about spending salaries here. What we're talking about is the easiest way to get what you need for a campaign. And the most important thing you need to do is have people. Why do you need people? Well, you say, no, that brings me up to my third thing. The easiest way to win an election with no money is knocking on doors. That's right. Knocking on doors. I've made a career out of it, folks. Knocking on doors. Now, how do you, when you don't have any money, but you have a bunch of friends and a bunch of people that said, hey, you know what? I'm going to help you get elected, man. I'm going to help you become the next city councilman. I'm going to help you become the next council person, right? Then the easiest thing you do is you knock on doors to tell people about it. Why? Because knocking on doors is free. Knocking on doors is more intimate. Knocking on doors delivers your message face to face to the people who love you, to the people who you want to vote for you, because they have no idea. These people who are in the district have no idea. Now, here's an unfortunate part about it. But it's fortunate also, because you're going to want to do this right. Here's the thing. You're not going to knock on every single door. Don't do that. Don't knock on every single door down the street, because some people aren't registered to vote. Some people aren't even citizens. Some people can't vote. Some places are Airbnbs that haven't had someone living there for years and years and years and years. So what do? You have to get a voter file. And there's plenty of voter files out there for your city and your district, and they don't necessarily have to be party driven. Voter files like L2. It's L2. Voter files like Vote Builder. Sometimes you could go to the city and the city itself will have a list of all the voters and what they're registered at, because all that stuff is public information. Now, here's where your friends, your supporters come in. Because once you figured out an area and a neighborhood that you want to go knock on doors in, you want to go knock on these doors specifically targeted to the people that you believe are going to believe your platform and will be most impacted by what your platform delivers. And understand something, candidates, future candidates. The more doors you personally knock on, the more chances that you have to win. I hate to be like this. I'm not a Rand Paul kind of guy, but I got to give him props on the type of campaign he ran, where he decided that he was going to knock on more doors than anybody else on this campaign. Now, I doubt that's true, but that was the rumor. And he ends up winning because he goes to these neighborhoods, and no matter what you feel about his politics, he goes to these neighborhoods. And what does he do? He knocks a crap ton of doors. And each person you talk to, if you consider this, each person you talk to, there's a high likelihood that your opponent, with all the money that they have in the world, did not personally go knock on that door. Did not personally go knock on the door and said, hey, my name is Marcus Farrell, and would you mind voting for me? Will you vote for me on November 5th for your next state representative, for your next city councilman? After having a personal touch, the more doors that you knock on, the more of a conversation that you have with people at the door, the more that you're going to have an opportunity to actually win that person over. Don't send another person if you can't help it, but there's a reason why you have your supporters that we just talked about. Because for the doors that you can't possibly get to, that's where they go. And you have them saying things like, I am personal friends with Marcus Farrell, and I believe strongly in his platform. He plans on picking up Chihuahuas and Pit Bulls. He plans on making sure that the poop is scooped when he becomes dog catcher. And he plans on having a humane way of doing it. I support him. I believe him. Here's a little bit of information about him, because we are going to get into the tiny amount of money that you're going to need and what you need those things for, but we're not there yet. But understand, if you want to win a campaign, you have to do one major thing: knock on doors. And how many doors are we knocking? Well, folks, when I told you guys to go get that voter file, and there's a couple of other places that you can go look. You can always look at election results from the past elections, election cycles. If you don't have any money, that doesn't mean your math has to be bad. If you don't have any money, it doesn't mean that you can't win this election without having a lot of money. You need to come up with a win number. Remember that in all politics, no matter what level of government that you're running for, you have to have a win number. And what's your win number? Well, your win number is what you think the total amount of votes are going to be split in half. And then add one vote. I repeat, this is the most important thing to winning an election, is having a win number and accomplishing your win number. And that is free. So some people have different methods of coming to their win number. I got a couple of different methods, and I typically, when I manage campaigns, I like to challenge the people who work for me to come up with their own win numbers. And then at the end of the day, when the election is over, whoever came closest, they might get a bonus or they might get a cookie or something. But having a win number is very easy. So what you're going to do, and I think the general rule of thumb is, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the last 3 election cycles for that seat. And you're going to kind of average them out. Okay, so in 2000, 500 people showed up. In 2022, 700 people showed up. And in 2024, 600 people showed up. So I believe my average is around 600 people, right? If you average those together, I think that's around 600 people. Now, what do you do next? Well, in order to win that election, you have to take 600 people that you think are going to show up to the polls and split that in half. That's 300 people. Then you add one vote. So your number now, your win number at this point, is 301 person. That is your goal, folks. Now, of course, there's different things, like my brother Mondale and a couple of my friends across the political spectrum, campaign managers and folks alike. They have different ways of getting there. And a lot of people believe that, and this is something that is very true that we're going to talk about, a lot of people believe that a lot of politicians just want to get elected with the same people over and over and over again. And that is true. You look at some of these older folks in Congress, they just keep getting reelected over and over again because nobody wants to run against them. And because nobody does one other thing, and that is expand the base. But we're going to get into expanding the base later on. But expanding the base, that means that you're going to go and talk to people who aren't a part of that 301 votes. And you're going to go and make sure that they're registered to vote. And you're going to go and make sure that they are happy about your campaign and they're excited about your campaign. That's right, folks. They have to be excited about your campaign. That's why I believe one of the reasons why, oh, my camera's going crazy. That's one of the reasons why I believe the vice president might have lost their election to Trump, because there wasn't as many excited people. There was like Obama. For whatever the reason might be, the base wasn't expanded. The base was kind of shrunk to, we're just going to hope that a certain amount of people vote for us. But in this right here, I just want you guys to have a basic understanding that you're going to knock on doors. Now, if your win number is 301 candidates, I suggest you figure out how you personally are going to knock on 301 doors by election day. And then you have your volunteers doing two things: following up with more visits, talking more to other people who aren't in the base, and also going over. So you might want to target somewhere around 400, 500 doors if you can. So it's a blowout. You want to make it a blowout. You want to win by making it a blowout. So get your win number. And so far, I think we spent about, let's see, we had pizza a couple times. We have, oh yeah, well, we'll get to that because we are going to have to spend a little money. Now, if you're broke and you don't have any money, and you don't have a big pack behind you or a big union behind you, how do you get money? How do you get money? Aha, my friends. Aha. You go on your cell phone. See, there's a lot of people that think a lot of different things, and a lot of fundraisers will tell you, well, you got to hire me because I can raise you more money. But I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of fundraisers in the game that they say they're going to do one thing, but end up doing another, and you never get the amount of money. Matter of fact, if you get the wrong fundraiser, they'll ask you for your whole budget, saying, well, you owe me $6,000. Well, you were supposed to raise, but you only raised $6,000. Thank you. You signed the contract, and you're screwed. You're screwed. So how do you avoid that? You pull out your cell phone and you call every single phone number in that damn cell phone, and you ask each person for $100. And if you think they got more money than that, then guess what? If you know that they've spent more money, if they're riding around in Ferrari, if all you can remember is them being able to, you can look at people's track records also. You can find that out for that's public information also. And if you see that they are giving $500, they got a Ferrari and they live in the richest neighborhood, and you remember that, hey, Uncle Benny, would you mind giving me $500 for my campaign? Oh, I didn't know you were running for office. Yeah, I am. Tell you people who live within my district, help me out. You go through your whole cell phone. I'm just going to give you the basics. You go through your whole cell phone and you make the ask. You say, I'm running for dog catcher because there's too many chihuahuas running around the neighborhood and nobody's picking up the poop behind them. I want to make sure that each and every single one of these dogs don't have any respite when it comes down to the poop in the neighborhood. Will you support my campaign? I need you to give me $100 right now, and then be quiet. They're either going to say yes or no. They're either going to say yes, or they're either going to say no, but they're either going to say yes or no. And if they say no, that's fine. Ask them to support your campaign. But if you just say, would you give me $100, and you be quiet and you wait for that awkward silence, there's a high likelihood that they're going to say yes. And then you give them a link to your PayPal, or you give them a link to your campaign website, or you give them a link. And then all of a sudden you have, let's say you have 250 contacts in your phone. Let's say you have 3,000 contacts in your phone. You called all 3,000 of them. And you end up getting 1,500 of those people to give you $100. How much money you got then? You got enough money to buy you some mailers. You got enough money to buy you some pizza for your people. And you got enough money to do basic things like, because here's the thing. Sometimes you got to run your campaign out of your house, out of your friend's office. Sometimes you got to have someone, and that's also a part of running for free and for cheap. You don't have to have the biggest office in the world. If you have a friend who has a building, who has a space in it, for you to just sit back and do call time, or sit back and organize your volunteers, that is free. And you can also write that off. as a campaign contribution. Because see, what candidates like to do, and what y'all don't understand is, other candidates like to look at how much money you raise and say, oh, I'm going to beat him because I got $100,000 in the bank account. Yeah, you might have $100,000 in the bank account. And I only got $15,000 in the bank account. But guess what I got? I got 250 people knocking on doors for me every day. And you're still trying to figure out exactly what your platform is. Good example of this, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, folks. Where am I at? Okay, yeah. We're still back at it. The next thing you want to do is take your platform and look for big supporters, but tell them that you're going to stick to your guns. Now, I said it. If you are in the South and there's a dog catchers union, then you present your platform to the dog catchers union or to AFL-CIO or to MoveOn.org or to the plethora of organizations across the country that you just need them to do two things for you. Give you money. But see, you already covered that base because you got your own money. You've already developed a large volunteer group that is going to do everything for you. So you don't necessarily need all the money in the world. You already figured out your win number. You already figured out how much it's going to take for you to get elected to this seat. How many doors you need to knock on to get elected to this seat. How many people you need to show up and vote for you to get elected to this seat. You already got all that. But you still want them to help. Why? Because you want to put your best foot forward in trying to beat this person who is already elected and probably has all the favors of God knows what. But you just want to have more people. So don't be afraid to go and ask for endorsements. And don't be afraid to go ask them folks for big checks. That doesn't cost you money. And a lot of people think that, hey, you know what? But if I ask them for money, they're going to want me to do certain things. Yeah, but if you let them know off top, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, and you don't own me, and then you stick to your guns because I'm trusting you to stick to your guns and not become a sellout. I'm giving you this information for free, but your ass better not become a sellout. I hope you hear me. Don't weaponize this crap to turn it into some neoliberal conservative thinking, even if you are a conservative. Don't turn into a person that goes against your own values and beliefs because somebody gives you some money. That's the wrong reason to be running. And I voodoo spikes you right now. I curse you. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's right. You better not, don't use these powers for evil. Only use these powers for good. Okay. So I'm going to go down my list real quick because I want to make sure that, oh yeah. Another thing you can do to get elected to office without spending any money, social media, folks. I'm going to go ahead and read this. Create compelling content that speaks to your platform and encourages people to share it. Engage with your audience, respond to comments, host virtual town halls to keep the conversation going. This can create a sense of community that draws more people to your campaign. Twitter, Instagram, hashtags, hashtag dog catcher, hashtag Tallahassee dog catcher, hashtag ATL dog catcher, hashtag, I'm talking about dog catcher. I'm infatuated with that position because it's an elected official position, but hashtag ATL dog catcher, whatever it might be. Use social media to your advantage, folks. Use social media to your advantage. We're not playing those games now. Use social media. Y'all watch social media all the time. You're watching me on social media right now. So if you're not doing this right here to get free publications and free conversations and free advertisement, you're not doing it right. This is free work right here. This is free work right here. The next 3 things you can do throughout your campaign, and you've probably spent less money than your opponent by far, but all of a sudden, you look around and it's like, wait a minute, I can beat this person. Because you got more people, you've knocked on more doors. You just maybe raised enough money to send 1 flyer, maybe 2. But maybe your campaign catches fire like Bernie Sanders or AOC or Stacey Abrams, and all of a sudden you are the hottest ticket in town, and you didn't even think you could raise a dime. Because of your platform and people believing in you. We got Marcus. We got Marcus. We got your back, Marcus. We're with you. We're going to be with you. This is how you're going to win. See, folks, you got to understand something. First off, you can't do this unless you believe in yourself. Don't let these narcissistic, horrible human beings keep staying in office so they can get favors for their rich friends. This is how we fight back. By the person who is watching this right here, running for office, and I'm telling you how to do it, and I'm telling you how to do it for free. No, it's not exactly free, but it's free. Comparison to the amount of money that's going to be spent against you, and trust me, if you have the people's agenda on your mind, they are going to spend money against you. So you have to have more people. You got to have more people. If you're liking what you're seeing right now, please like, share, subscribe to my channel, Marcus Farrell, or stay on the clickbaity channel. But please go over to the Marcus Farrell channel and subscribe, because I'm not going to do all this work on clickbaity. I want to keep that separate, but we all are a big family. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to my brother, Ben Dixon. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Tyler, Jamed. Shout out to you guys, but we got to keep going, because there's another free thing that we can do to literally win office for free. You know what that is? Community events. That's right. Community events. If you don't show up to these community events, that auntie that runs that organization is going to hate your guts and go against you. And she got access to 50 people. She got access to 100 people. She got access to 400 voters. And all she got to do is press 1 button and say, that guy sucks. Boop. So each and every free community event that is going on, whether it is 5 people, whether it is 20 people, whether it is 2,000 people, you're going to show up and you're going to have your little t-shirt that you made because you called up everybody in your phone and raised you a little money so you can buy yourself a t-shirt and a couple of palm cards. And then you're going to go and say, hey, listen, I'm here. You got a moment to let me speak about my platform? They might say no, but a lot of times they say yes because they want to hear what you got to say. They want to hear what you got to say. Now you've reached 20, 30, 50, 100 people for free without spending a dime. Without spending a dime. So you're doing all of these things going back to back to back to back to back, right? And I just want to give you 5 or 6 strategies on how you can win your office for free. But here's the biggest thing. I want you guys to do this, and I want y'all to understand this. Getting those volunteers and your friends and your homies, you got to ask them on the weekend before election, 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance. You got to ask your friends, hey guys, check this out. Would y'all mind letting me use your car, or using your car or your vehicle, or throwing in some money for an event that we can do on GOTV weekend so we can get our last votes out? So you don't have to rent all these cars because all your people got cars. And if they love you and you've been showing up and you've been working and they've been seeing you working and they've been working for you, they've been putting in their little 1 hour of door knocks, 2 hour door knocks, 5 hours of phone calls on Saturdays and Sundays talking about your events. You haven't done any of this stuff for the same amount. And you calling and calling and calling and calling and putting boots on the ground. And trust and believe this, guys, and I say this with all intents and purposes. If you know your win number and you contact 20% over your win number 3 to 5 times with your people, you're going to win that election. You're going to win that election. So thank you for watching this brief little conversation that I wanted to have about how you can run for office and win for free. I am Marcus Farrell, campaign consultant, 1/3 of clickbaity political thirst trap. Please like and subscribe to this channel. That's Marcus Farrell on YouTube. Go over there on YouTube if you're watching it. Like and subscribe. Don't be afraid to share. If anybody that you know says, I want to run for office, you send them to this video right here, because this is one of the ways that you can win this election, your election. And it all starts with you, folks. You are the resistance. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.